Hello and welcome back into the portal. I'm Andrew McKay.
And I'm Amber Ray.
We just wanted to add a little bit extra onto the second
bonus
episode.
Footage.
Yeah, bonus material on the Ogopogo episode because we actually we hadn't had a chance yet to go and visit the West Bank First Nations Museum.
Literally, we just got back.
We literally just got back. We had exchanged emails and things like that before the episode, but because of scheduling, we didn't have a chance to get out there. Mm-hmm. So we got out there today and found out some really, really cool info. So we just wanted to add it in as bonus material for the Ogopogo episode. So
and just to make a few corrections, right? And confirm some things that we did mention, but weren't exactly 100% on.
Definitely. So there was, you know what? I was actually really pleased at how well we did in terms of accuracy. We did pretty okay, according to Cora Lee, who was the lovely lady at the
museum assistant. She guided us through the whole experience. She was very helpful.
Very helpful. Awesome. It's such a great little museum. If you're ever in West Kelowna and you have a chance to check it out, it's really worth a look.
Yeah.
It's on
the
really
old
cool.
Okanagan Highway, right off the existing highway that we use normally now.
Lots of great, really cool local information.
Right in the middle of it all.
But anyway, the one thing that was the main discrepancy that I really wanted to correct was just the population. So in the Ogopogo episode, we mentioned that at the sort of height of Okanagan culture around 3,000 years ago, which was relatively accurate, 3,000 years ago, the number 12,000 was not accurate. So we got the correct number from Coralie at the museum, and she tells us that the actual number was more like around 200,000 of the Okanagan peoples. And like we said, that territory stretched well into Washington and all the way up through, and as well as stretched out east into the Kootenays as well. So just a little correction
far north
there.
in the province.
Oh yeah, way up north too.
Yeah.
So it was about 69,000 square kilometers was their territory that they hunted and fished in, and they were semi-nomadic people, so they would move around season to season, and she showed us all the kind of different hunting tools and things that they used, and it was a really cool visit.
Super fascinating.
Yeah, but we just wanted to make that one little correction, and we came across a bunch of other things too that were just really awesome because they totally corroborated some of the things that we mentioned in episode 1, and we just wanted to put that out there. So Amber, you told a story in the Ogopogo episode for the origin story.
It was an origin story, and I did premise that with a disclaimer. So we did ask Coralie about that, and she had heard a similar story. Can you recap that story quickly for us? Yeah, okay, so the story that we had heard originally was that there was a condemned man, sort of, a loner of sorts, and the story that I told in the first episode was that he had murdered an elder, and that as punishment, he was basically banished to the lake.
Right.
And it's actually interesting. Coralie had a different take on that. It was basically the other way around, where this guy was kind of condemned. He wasn't really accepted for whatever reason. She wasn't specific about that. But she did say that this is where the connection to Rattlesnake Island / Squally Point comes in. Because apparently the only friend that this condemned guy had was the rattlesnake. And so apparently he went down to the water and he was actually healed by the spirit of the lake and became a benevolent spirit himself. And so that was an interesting take, and I feel like we kind of briefly touched on that in the first episode by saying Nessie, he's not snatching people off the shore, he's pretty benevolent. So I think that was corroborated.
Right.
And I thought another really cool aspect about that, because we asked her again about, well, what about these live lake offerings that were given to the creatures they passed every time? And apparently, Nessie's vegetarian. There was no live offerings.
Not Nessie, Augie.
Oh, sorry. Oh my god, I'm calling him Nessie.
We've been looking at Loch Ness and Lake Champlain a lot, so we're it's all blended together a little bit too.
Me and Nessie are new Insta friends.
New buddies.
Anyways.
But yeah, no, she did say that.
So basically it is a vegetarian creature, very fond of burning sage, very fond of tobacco. So if you're near Squally Point, make sure you drop off.
So the offerings that were made were actually typically going tobacco, as the story goes, and not live offerings. But she did say that the live offerings is something that kind of developed over the years and sort of became.
Yeah, she did mention that some of the younger men that were out fishing or whatever, they would maybe occasionally drop something. Part of their catch.
It became a more modern tradition.
They're dunking in a live chicken and being like, "See ya, bud."
Yeah, and we had come across a lot of resources that said that, and some of them were pretty from our prospective legitimate sources. And so we were really happy to go out there to the museum and just get an idea that, yeah, this does happen, and it has happened more in the modern era, but it's not a part of their traditional culture or anything like that. It's not a part of the legend of Nahahatiku, which is actually, we've been practicing our pronunciation, or trying to anyway.
That last part.
And Nahahatiku is my best attempt at the pronunciation for the Ogopogo, the lake demon, that the Okanagan peoples have had as a part of their history for thousands of years. But yeah, it was really cool to get some corroborating, background info from this museum.
And she was very, so helpful, hey?
Oh, man.
But I thought it was really interesting how the Indigenous standpoint really, in a lot of senses, is more allegorical. And it's more of like a term of respect, of designation to the lake as like the life bearer, the bonds of the community, essentially, right?
Totally.
Like without it, there wouldn't really be much going on.
But at the same time,
and then on the flip side,
she made a point of telling us that there's a lot of part of it's that's allegorical, and that it's about
and
respect for water and spiritual and about more things than just a creature in the lake.
It's not about a monster.
But it is based off something real. And she told us that even her grandmother had seen Nahahatiku in the lake, had seen the lake demon more than once. And she believes that it is there's basis in fact. Much like...
And you would take that sort of perspective. Her elder, right? This is her grandma, who's obviously lived here her entire life.
Yeah.
She knows what a beaver looks like. She knows what an elk looks like crossing the lake.
Totally.
She's not going to confuse those.
Totally.
And she even said, like, Coralie, she's like, my grandmother's not a liar.
No.
And she's very...
That's what she said, yeah.
Very serious.
And it's not sensationalized or anything.
No.
It's just like, I saw what she knew what it was, right? I saw Nahahati. Oh man, I'm going to struggle with that forever. It's such a cool word, but I struggle with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was the information, bonus information.
Bonus specific to Ogopogo. We actually did get a few other really cool tidbits that I definitely want to share with our listeners. But for now, we're going to keep it succinct. And yeah.
So stay tuned for the full blog on Ogopogo that
we're going to have that up this week.
Amber will be having up this week with a ton of extra details that are just really, really cool. So you guys should check that out. Too. Totally. Yeah. And we'll have all the other like videos and things that we've used for this second episode, and the ones that are up there for the first episode too are on our YouTube channel. So you can check us out at Into the Portal. There's a link on our website, so you can check that out and take a look at all the things that we've been looking at.
Definitely. So
stay tuned for episode 3. We'll have that out probably in a week. Do you figure, Amber? Something like that? We're going to try. We're going to try our best.
We're going to try. There's definitely a lot of dense material that we're sifting through right now. So
it's kind of a crazy one. So
it's very far out there.
We'll put out a teaser pretty soon.
But anyways, we just want to say again, thank you, Coralie, and to everyone at the Snikmeets Museum.
Yep.
Snikmeets?
The West Bank First Nations Museum. Anyway, but we really appreciate all the support and feedback we've had. And thank you so much for everybody for subscribing and tuning in.
Yes.
Until next time.